Hey, what's going on, guys? It's me, Parksy here, your coach of the Armagh Armaldos, bringing it back to smash it today here for week number 8, aka the first week of playoffs. I guess the first week there ever will be of playoffs, because the next week, if I do get so lucky, I will be going to finals, where I will either be playing off against Haas and Hughes, but standing in my way is the number one team of the league, MX3, with his insane core. I just want to say, by the way, probably after this video goes out, the Armaldos will be a meme, because people have been coming up to me like, why have you been spelling it Armaldos? Are you trying to say armadillos? But then you have to explain to them it's a frickin' Pokemon, so oh well. But people have just been coming up to me, oh, it's Parksy, the coach of the Armaldos, but, you know, whatever. I'll just let them do that anyway. But MX3, of course, got a super scary team. There's been a few adjustments since last time. Like, that Umbreon is not supposed to be there. It is replaced for Cabalion, so that's not supposed to be there. But his team consists of Tapu Fini, Ferrothorn, which is disgusting core. He has got Cabalion, Snorlax, Flygon, Rhyhorn, Victini is the Z captain, Thunderous, Therian form, Hydreigon, Golurk, and that is not supposed to be Magneton, that is supposed to be Copper Rodriguez. You can tell how much we have cared after the first 7 weeks of the draft have went, but I just want to say that I'm super proud of myself, because this is my first ever draft league. It's also Hughes, and he's made it to the semi-finals as well, so pats on our backs for our first draft ever getting to the semi-finals at the very least. And I'm just happy that I went positive. Like, even if Rabbit had beat me and got to the finals, I would have been like, I still went positive. This is my first ever draft. But if we win this battle, we go 5-3. If we win, we go 4-4. It doesn't really matter, however, because these matches don't really care if you win or lose. It just matters, you know. The person who wins goes to the finals. The person who loses, you know, hard luck. Oh well, pat on the back. But we're now going to go into the team that we decided to build for MX3. I actually made this a few weeks ago. I was just trying to go through his team, thinking what would be a good team to bring against him. So this is the team that I brought. Okay, guys, so we are back with the team. So my first pick, of course, is Bayaton, my Nihilego. It did work against Cedar last week, I will admit it. My Nihilego has made me proud. This set, hopefully, will be doing a lot of work versus my boy MX3. That has got Sludge Wave, Hidden Bar Fire, Dazzling Beam, and Power Gem. If I do get a Beast Boost, it will be in special attack, I believe. And I just really want to make this Monster nuke everything, and he really does not have a good switch into this Pokemon, especially with the coverage I gave it. Next up, we've got Talonflame, and this is the dope Talonflame set if it works out. So this has got fully special defensive investment, it has got Misty Speed, and this makes it so that a defensive Tapu Fini at most of Fini Circle will be doing about 37% as Talonflame. So I can actually set up on the Tapu Fini, which should be the switch into Talonflame, but that should be pretty good. We aren't running speed investment because there's no real point, because if he's going to scarf something, it's going to outspeed my Talonflame no matter what I do, so I might as well run 0 speed, and I speed the entirety of his team, because his fastest Pokemon's 108, Talonflame is 126. So we're also running Acrobatics again, so that Beetle Wings can be a little bit more reliable. Tinkerbell is now my Celebi. It did work versus MX3 the last time that we played, but this time we're not going to be bringing Choice Scarf Celebi. This time we're going to be bringing U-Turn, Hidden Power Fire, Dazzling Gleam, and Toxic Celebi. A more defensive variant with max defense, so I can take on things like the Flygon better. It's going to be my main Flygon, my main Rhydon switch-in, of course, assuming that the Rhydon does not have Mega Horn, which would really make sense against the Sand team. Just to take hits from the Flygon, to take hits from the Tapu Fini. This Pokemon's going to be a very good. It's going to be a very good wall, I'm hoping, against MX3. It can also take hits from the Ferrothorn and 2-hit KO it, or even Oko it with Hidden Power Fire if I get lucky. Next up we got, it ends here, my Excadrill, my defensive Excadrill, max HP, max attack, Rapid Spin, Stealth Rocks, and Edgequake coverage. So if I can set up Stealth Rocks versus the MX3, that's pretty good, because it's only 2 house removers, or defoggers with Flygon and Tapu Fini, so he'll be removing my hazards as well. I can spin, but I can't spin versus the Copper Rodriguez, which unfortunately kind of waltzes thing. I made this team before I actually got Coffagrigus and Bag, but I've been so busy I just didn't bother making any changes. Zika next up is the Executree. I've got Hypnosis, Carmine, Hidden Power, Ice, and Thunderbolt for the strike and Z because this is my Z user. I just decided to run with Carmine in case he's going to be running something like Thunderous Therian, which is probably going to be bringing with Scarf Special Victini, which didn't work versus my team. So the Carmine's pretty good. Plus, also, I only need to get up to like +1 to like destroy his entire team outside of Ferrothorn, which should give me a free switch into my Talonflame anyway. And finally, is Afe, my Primate. Now, Afe didn't do work versus his team last time because it just got like 2-hit KO'd by the Tapu Fini when I tried to switch it in aggressively on the default. But it's got enough speed so I can outspeed the entirety of this team. I believe I can outspeed something Scarfed. I think it was. I can't remember what it was that I was supposed to outspeed. It was Scarf. But I've got Ice Punch, Close Combat, Gun Shot. U-turn. This should be hitting this team pretty darn hard, and I can get a wee U-turn core with my Primate and my Celebi. Hopefully, I know this team doesn't have any reliable recovery, so I'm just hoping to nuke his team, MX3's team, because I tried playing more bulky last time. It didn't work, so this time I'm just gonna try and nuke him with offense and see how it goes. So let's get to that battle. Okay guys, so I bring you to the battle where we're going to be going up against MX3, aka MX3 Pokemonster. Cool dude. So he has brought Flygon, Ferrothorn, Tapu Fini, Thunderous Therian, Kufak, and Victini. First things I can tell about this team is the Flygon is most likely an offensive Dragon Dance sweeper because he did bring it in Tapu Fini. It's either the Fini Specs or the Flygon is a Dragon Dancing variant. Ferrothorn is the only rock setter, so of course he's going to be bringing that with rocks. Could potentially bring other spikes as well, and I just believe the Thunderous Therian is a double dance sweeper as well. He didn't bring many mons. Actually, I don't think he brought any mons with reliable recovery. He also his Coffagrigus, which my team really does not deal well with. They just kind of have to hope to nuke it with my Executree. But I'm going to go press play as he does send out Dage in the Flygon. As I am going to go out with my Rouge Course, my Talonflame, and I hope that he was just going to outrage me because it did so much damage to my entire team. Instead he goes out into Tapu Fini, which is really unfortunate because it actually gets my Misty Save, but I've swapped out here, so this basically means that I've lost my answer to my Tapu Fini already in this first turn. But as I said, Celebi was my swap in, so I decided to switch it in. I predicted him to go out to Ferrothorn because that hard walled my Celebi, and I knew that he didn't really have anything on his Tapu Fini for it anyway. So he goes swaps out his Ferrothorn as I do correctly outplay him there. As he goes out into his Talonflame, and I know that I can deal a lot of damage with this Tapu Fini. I can deal now with this a minimum of 49%, so I get a low roll, of course, in my first. Well, it was a medium roll, I think, but a medium to low roll with the first hit. So I know that if I can get a higher roll with this hit, then I should be able to knock it out. And of course, I get like the lowest roll possible. So that Tapu Fini is going to be hanging on because of two very unfortunate, pretty low rolls. So it has been put in range of rocks, so if I can get up stealth rocks in my exit drill, that'd be pretty good. But I can't bring it in just yet because it does. This Tapu Fini does activate my exit drill. So he decides to swap out to Flygon for some reason. As I go for my Z Hypnosis, I figured I might as well set up on something. So just the Z Hypnosis, and I luckily hit it onto the Flygon, so it is asleep, and now I can start setting up Calm Minds on my opponent as he does go into this Ferrothorn. Now I know if this is like a physically bulky variant, that means that it should go down in about 3 Calm Mind boost hits, so I just Calm Mind up knowing that unless it's Power Whip it cannot do anything versus me. So he decides to go for the Gyro Ball. That is not really going to do that much damage. Just a bit of damage, but it only does 32%, which isn't that much. So we get up to +3, and I'm like, okay, if this thing is not specially defensive, then I will be able to OHKO it. So with this Pokemon, would be able to run through his team. If I only put on Tail Glue, then I probably could have ran through his team. So I get up to +4 now, just so that I can break through his team. In hindsight, I probably shouldn't have, because at a +3 I 2-hit KO Ferrothorn anyway, so that was a bit stupid of me, but I was extremely busy with exams around this time, so this battle was not my priority, so I find out that he is a special defensive variant of Ferrothorn as my computer screen glitched there, sorry about that. So he decides to knock me out with Power Whip as he actually shoots a dog. For some reason Hughes was commenting wow all the time on this. I really did not get why. It was kind of annoying at the end. It was like, really just gonna comment here and say wow after every single turn, which he just literally did. He literally commented wow on after quite a few rounds. These guys can't see the turn, of course, but I decided to get off a Toxic Gun for the Cop Rodriguez, just trying to stall it down a bit. I know that I can take a Shadow Ball easily with my Tinkerbell, so I take the Shadow Ball here, and last time I lost 4 against MX3, and I was like, okay, I hope to challenge you to a better battle, and so far I am fighting a losing battle, so I go for the U-turn just to try and get some chip damage off. If he does swap out, then I will get switch initiative. Of course he's not going to swap out because he's got the upper hand advantage, so I go into my Nihilego because it is a specially defensive monster, as he does go for the Will-O-Wisp, which is actually pretty nice because now I can take quite a lot of hits from this thing. A Shadow Ball would probably hurt me a lot more than a burn. It also means it can be paralyzed now or randomly froze, so I go for the Power Gem, get a crit of 43%, very unfortunate, but I did get 2 low rolls versus his Talonflame, and he instantly revenge hacks me by dropping my Spadef, so that means I really cannot stay in with my Nihilego, or, well, I can, but I'll have to risk a hit, so I just end up risking the hit because why not. So he goes out into his Flygon trying to burn a turn of sleep, and this is why unfortunately I wish I wasn't Choice Scarf, because if I was, and then I could have went for the Hidden Power Ice, not, oh no, I had Hidden Power Fire, but I could have went for the Dazzling Gleam, did about quite a lot of damage, and he actually said this is Choice Scarf Flygon, so that would have been annoying, but he burns a turn of sleep, so I know that he will be waking me up after 1 or 2 more turns. So after now, I just decide to send out, as he does decide to sack off his Tapu Fini, which is a pretty smart play. I go for the Ice Punch, as this actually isn't going to be able to knock out his Tapu Fini, which is kind of funny, because it is getting the same amount of leftover recovery as I feel, as of course he used this for some reason still in the background being weird. So I predict he goes to the Moon Blast as he does, so it is for one thing that I can never get about MX3's is his plays, because he makes the weirdest plays. Like, he would make the most, like, he like the first sorry, he plays so obvious the first few turns, then he make a random play, then he'll play obvious again, then he'll play like a good few amount of incredible plays for like the next few turns, and then you just play simple again. So like, you really cannot predict this guy. So I knew that, by the way, he sent this in. This is physically defensive code 5, so I swap out knowing that the extra can't unfortunately knock this thing out. So he is going to be able to get his health back with Pain Split, but I have enough firepower with the Nihilego to hurt it. So unfortunately he doesn't swap out here. He's kind of trying to catch Flygon on another switch, because I thought he assumed that I was choice locked and would make a good play and try and go out into this Flygon, burn another turn of sleep, because he predicted me to go for the Power Gem. But I go into my Extra Drill hoping that he doesn't go for the Will-O-Wisp, as he does need to boost the Shadow Ball. So definitely though, I am max HP Extra Drill, so I can definitely take a hit as I do, and this Hotfigure gets now lowered to the point where Earthquake is actually going to knock it out now. I go for the Rock Slide in case he tries to score in the Thunder's Therian. Or at the very least. Actually, well, in hindsight I should have went for Earthquake in case he swapped out into Flygon. And he goes down to Victini, and I'm like, okay, well I don't have any switches to this thing, so I might as well cycle my Celebi here, because it doesn't do anything versus his team. It just gets destroyed by the rest of his team. Ferrothorn probably has knockoff for this Pokemon, and it's just set up Rocks a lot earlier versus his team once Fini went down, but unfortunately I didn't. So I go into Viath on my Nihilego, and I thought he goes out into Flygon when I already showed Dazzling Gleam. This is what I'm talking about. Like, he makes the weirdest plays, and then he makes the weirdest plays. So I go for the Impact Fire, obviously. But he makes the weirdest plays, and then he had like go for like a mad play, and it would work out because you're so used to him doing his plays. So of course he burns another turn of sleep. So I'm expecting him to wake up the next turn. So I really have to force offensive pressure. So he stays asleep for 3 turns, luckily. So go for close combat, knock out his flag on, and now it is a 3-0. So that means, or at the very least, he will 3-0 me. There's 33 on each side, but my Nihiligo only has 1 more hit in it before it dies to burn. So that means that I really have to play carefully. But it also means that I did keep my promise to MX3, and I did give him a better battle. So I go out into Exegil. For some reason he went for the Zen head, but I'm pretty sure the Create would have knocked out the front end anyway. But anyway, I take the head as he goes for the Create. At least I know he isn't choice locked now, so at the very least, maybe Primate can come in and do some damage. At the very least, maybe if I can get a crit, I can Oko it. But I go into Nihiligo, and I didn't know why I predicted him not to go out in the Ferrothorn, but at the end of the day, I probably wouldn't have mattered, because there was no mood I could have locked in myself into with Primate that hurt the Thunder's Therian and the Victini, which, you know, I could have got hacks versus them, because I'm pretty sure if he Create melts ice. And Hughes PM me afterwards, like, or during the battle actually, like, oh, why didn't you go for Hidden Power Fire? Because Hidden Power Fire is the best play obviously all the time. And I'm like, I just came out of exams, I really don't care. Like this, I would rather revise for my exams and play a Pokemon game. I'm sorry, but I know that I haven't spent the utmost amount of time on this team. I really should have tried to update it with the amount of updates we did. But I did only lose to a 2-0, so I definitely kept my word to have a better battle with MX3, and a better battle I did. I definitely should have brought Tailgo and Executory and a more offensive Excadrill, even though I should have brought Sand with Excadrill. But hey, what are you going to do? The better man won in the end. I truly believe MX3 was the stronger contender, and I really wish him well. I really wish him well in finals. Of course, it would have been nice to get the finals and be like, yes, I beat the person who hadn't got a single loss, because I definitely felt like my team could have beaten his team, especially if I played Talonflame better, but oh well, what are you going to do? So thanks guys for watching this video. If you did enjoy this the entire season of the SDL, then make sure to leave a like, subscribe with notifications on, and comment down below. Guys, Season 2 will be out in about a week or two's time, so make sure to go check out for that. That should only entice you to keep notifications on, nevertheless. So if you guys have not already kept notifications on, please do, because unless you'll be missing Season 2 of the SDL, and you don't want to be doing that, and you don't want to be like catching up like 2 or 3 episodes at a time, which is kind of unfortunate. It really ruins the mood, and it really ruins you getting excited for the next week. So thanks guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.